Well, welcome to another creature case study. In this case study, we're going to take a look at the Stegosaurus character. So, to start off, here are the body parts of the Stegosaurus. The body, the head, the legs, and the tail. Here's the rig. Very straightforward. You have bones in the places you care about. In particular, you have bones coming out from some of the plates. You'll see why we have those in a moment. Okay, animation time. Let's play the animation. Right, pretty cool. Now, the main interesting points about this Stegosaurus running character are that we're actually doing a actual full-on running gait in this creature. The other demos we've had are just standard slow walk cycles. In this case, the creature is sort of charging forwards. So let's take a look at how it's done. Now, the first thing we want to do is to examine the bones that are associated with this running motion. You notice that for the two main bones, I basically have rotate psychomotors installed on them. And what this is for is we're actually making the front part rotate up and down. So it arches the body up and down. And the back one also arches the body up and down. And if you notice, for these two guys over here, they're sort of out of phase. The front bone has a phase of 0, and the back bone has a phase of 2. This is such that so we can simulate some kind of running gait motion, where the whole body arches and goes down, and the back body also arches and goes down in an out of phase fashion, because they sort of arch in different directions, and that's why they're out of phase. Okay? And you also notice that these two main bones are actually not the root bone of the character. The root bone of the character is actually this guy over here, which is completely disconnected from the rest of the body. And why is that? Well, this guy over here, the root bone, just serves one purpose. It allows us to easily translate this character around the scene, so that's a tip for you, very useful. The other thing it's going to do is that it's actually going to have a move bounce motor installed on it. And that basically allows this creature to move up and down, have a bouncy gait, while the rest of the two bones are responsible for the arching upwards and downwards of the running motion. And that's how we achieve this bouncy gait motion. Okay? Right. So once those three bones, the move bounce motor and the two rotate cycle motors have been installed and set with the correct parameters, the next thing we should take a look at are the leg cycle motions. And as you can tell, we're using our standard trick here, the smooth IK rotate motor, and we have shaved off, set the scale bottom to 0 for these two motors, so the feet actually target a flat ground, like a walking or running motion. The other thing is we've sort of lengthened the scale right portion. The scale right value has been set to 2, so the feet actually stretch out more as it's bounding across, and then when they come back, they don't actually compress or arch that much backwards. So the scale right has been set to 2, so the feet will extend out as it's running. Same deal for the other leg. Now, because we're doing a bounding running motion, the two opposite legs here aren't exactly completely out of phase. This guy has a phase of 0.6, and this guy has a phase of 0.3, because we're trying to animate a running motion, a full-on run of a four-legged creature. So typically, when this happens, the front two legs aren't completely out of phase. They sort of stretch out almost in unison, but not completely in unison, because that will look weird. So we set them with slightly different phases, but not a full phase cycle. And for the back leg, we have the same deal as well. Okay? And once you've done that, you have a running bounding motion for the forelegs and the body. Right. Now let's talk about the tail. The tail is very simple. It's just one entire chain of bones with a band physics motor installed. And in this case, because the creature is bounding so much, we're just using the stability mode, because we don't really need too much distracting swaying motion. We actually want the tail to be rather heavy, and that's why we're sticking to stability mode. And that's what we get. We get a very nice heavy tail of a dinosaur. Okay? Right. And as you see, we have all these all these plates or spikes coming out from the back of the dinosaur. Each one of these plates, these bones, these two bones on each plate have a band physics motor installed onto them. And this basically results in the plates responding in a very dynamic and interesting way. As the creature is bounding up and down, they too sway back and forth, which is kind of cool. Okay? Right. Now, one rather interesting thing which you never expect is the head. If I were to play the animation again, you might think, oh, it's kind of boring, nothing really happens. But actually something interesting is going on. Now, when animals run, they don't actually have the head moving up and down too much. Most of the time, it's focused on a target. And so what we actually want in this case is for the body to be very dynamic, but the head to sort of stay in place, right? So in other words, what we want is an IK motor on the two front bones leading to the head. So the rest of these guys can keep moving, while the IK should take care of posing with the head so it targets a specific location. And that's what we're doing right now. You notice that we've installed a smooth IK motor along these two bones, and the target position is here. So when I play the animation, the head sort of mostly sticks to this position. Okay, now the other interesting thing to note are the wiggly parts of the body. We've installed a single physics motor onto the mesh region of this body. And if you look at it, I've actually constrained or glued the top parts of this body. This skin or flesh type area is allowed to freely move around. And that's how we get the nice compression and skin effect. If I zoom in, you can see it more closely. You can see skin sort of sliding across the dinosaur or creature as it bounds across the screen. That's how we accomplish it using the physics motor. Alright, so that's basically our running Stegosaurus. Thanks for watching this video.